Welcome to the Not Done Yet Movement podcast. And I am over the moon to have one of my good friends, my sister from another Mr. Natasha. And Natasha and I go
Hi.
back, right? Just a little bit.
Yes, we're like at least
Shh,
ooh,
shh.
15, 17 years, something like that. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, just when you were a baby, and I was a little bit more than a baby. Yeah,
Yes. I was entering motherhood with pregnancy with my first one.
I know.
You're a child that lives with me who's now
I know.
14. So yeah,
It's crazy, right?
14 years,
It's
yes.
insane. And the beautiful thing about our relationship is that there are people that stand the test of time. And I think
Hmm.
the reason they stand the test of time is because they're honest. No matter
Yes.
how much it hurts.
Yes. Ooh, I remember those days.
Yeah, no matter how much it hurts. And funny I say it like that because I feel as though it was more me hurting you than you
Yes.
hurting
I
me.
used to get so, I was like, if you say this one more time,
But that's
not
why
what I want to hear.
we're here today. And
Yes,
this
it
is
is.
for the month of friendship. And I mean, you came to the forefront of my mind when it talks about friendship because you are such a good friend. And not just to
So
me, but I think to everyone in your life because you're very, very loyal
thank
and
you.
very committed.
I
Yeah.
am. Yep, I treat my friendships like marriages. It's still death do us part and in the afterlife too.
We can't get away from you. We'll never shake
No,
you.
nope. And if you try to divorce me, there will be problems.
Yeah, you'll
Problems.
come after me. Yay.
I surely will. I surely
Okay, so
will.
I have like real questions for you. I
Okay.
prepared. This is not the Valerie that you're used to. I
But
decided,
I love her. I love her in all her forms and all her iterations. I
oh,
have enjoyed you.
okay, you're saying it's like divorce, like we're married for life. And what makes a lot of things special for me is that I'm very much into belonging to people.
Mhm.
And I think that in belonging to people, like you've never called me, do you ever call me Valerie?
No, rarely. I'll say sissy,
Yeah.
sissy,
Uh-huh. Or Ray
sissy.
when you're feeling some type of way.
Yes. Right.
Uh-huh. So there is a special bond and connection that I have with you, and I'm grateful that you are my friend and that I can call you a friend and that you've been that for so long. And no matter how long we go, and we don't talk to each other on a regular basis, let's not even pretend,
Mhm.
and not because I'm in Dubai and you're in Maryland, United States of America, but we didn't ever have that kind of friendship. We weren't every day on the phone talking.
No,
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 no. That was never our ministry.
no.
Never our ministry.
But that's okay.
Never. It is
That
okay. It's great. Those are the best friendships when you can pick up right where you left off, no matter how much time has passed.
exactly. And that bothers some people. Some people can't handle those
Mhm.
type of relationships, but that's not our calling. So with that, that goes into our first question. So we can go months without talking. I mean months. I feel like we've gone
Yes.
like a year at some point, right? But
Yeah.
when we catch
Hmm.
up, it's like, whew, it's like life has
Yes.
changed. It's not like a soap opera. When you pick it up, we've gone like chapters have changed, right? And we
Yeah.
always pick up right where we left off. So, what do you think makes some friendships last a lifetime?
I think it's for me, friendships are more like I said, marriages. My friends are family to me. And I think that there's just some friendships where you have this instant like soulmate connection. I believe that there's people in our lives who are our soulmates, siblings, friends. And I think when two kindred spirits recognize each other, they recognize each other. And it's also both parties understanding that there's value in the relationship, that they value, that they appreciate the relationship. And so they're willing to put forth an effort to maintain the relationship. There's authenticity in the relationship. You're able to tell each other when one another's stuff stinks, right? And have the hard conversations and say the things that the other person doesn't want to hear, but you know that he or she is saying it from a place of love. And so for me, those I think are the foundational things that have allowed us to be 15 years and counting. Because when we met, Kennedy was in my stomach. She was growing in my stomach.
I know.
Um, and we were working at USDA together, and I was trying to figure out my career. And I tell
I
this
hate
story
that
to
for
this
you.
day.
I was just gonna
To this day, he would always say, "Bloom where you're planted. God has you exactly where you want to be." And I'm like, I roll. Be quiet, sissy. That's not what I want to hear. But you never told me what I wanted to hear. You always told me what I needed to hear, and that was something that I always respected about you and appreciated about you. And for me, that is a tried and true, like mandatory in relationships, that we can tell each other the hard truths, because that means we actually give a darn about each other and want to see each other succeed and do well and be well, and
you
that we're
know,
not just blowing smoke up each other's bums.
no, that would never be you. And I
Ever.
think that like more recently, we both gone through so much in the last 15 years. Like that is a whole nother 5 podcasts of all the stuff
Yes,
that we've been through and like marriage and children and just life was lifing hard, right?
it
Like could be
was.
a reality show, both of us. Um,
Yes.
but I love the fact that you did this recently. Like, I think the last time that we actually communicated, you turned my words back on me,
I did
right?
not like it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But it's good for the goose. It's not good for the gander. I didn't like it, but I needed to hear it. And I
Mhm.
thank you for that. And I thank you for being who you are. So, have you ever,
Special. You're so special, Natasha.
very special? We all love my word when I say special because you just don't know what it means, right? So
Yes.
outside of Valerie, have you ever had to tell a friend something they didn't want to hear? And what did that teach you about friendship?
Yes. Um, I've had to tell quite a few friends something that they didn't want to hear, but that's me as a friend. Like, people know that I am going to give it to you straight, no chaser. And my delivery isn't always the greatest, right? Like, that's an area that I have to continue to work on. But but it's always coming from a place of love. It's always coming from a place of love. And it's because I genuinely want the best for you. I wholeheartedly believe the scripture in the Bible where it says iron sharpens iron. And so for me, if you and I are friends, we are sisters, we are brother and sister, and you and I are not sharpening each other, then you should not be my friend, because I expect that from you, and I expect that you expect that from me. And so for another dear friend, we call each other sister wives. She was just going through a period where she was not being a good steward over her finances. And I was just watching, like, you're complaining about your financial situation, but yet you're spending money frivolously in areas that don't make sense. Um, and as an outsider, like, I sat and watched for a very long time before I ever said anything. And when I did say anything, she just didn't receive it well, because my delivery wasn't, like, pretty and bottled up and coddling. I'm not the friend that's gonna coddle you, not ever.
Oh,
Um, but it taught me that, like, you have to remember who your audience is, and you have to actually deliver certain difficult messages in a way that the party can receive them, if you want him or her to receive it in love. But also, on the other side of that, like, know who your friends are. Like, know that I'm a straight shooter. I'm not gonna coddle you. I'm not gonna give it to you like all pretty and dolled up and in a bow. It's just not me.
so what happened with that friendship? Is
She,
she still
she
a
got in
friend?
her feelings for, yeah, we're still fine. She got in her feelings for a little bit. She stopped talking to me for like a week. And then, she was over it, because, again, at the end of the day, I wasn't saying it to, like, scold you. And there was other stuff going on behind the scenes that had nothing to do with my message. It was like her own personal insecurities and embarrassment about stuff. Um, but yeah, she got over it. Life
Have
moved
you ever
on.
lost a friend because of
Yes.
delivery?
No, because of because of their own personal insecurities and them trying to project and attach blame to me that was not mine. Um, and it hurt in the moment, but when you come out of that situation, you recognize like that's how it was supposed to be. Some relationships conclude, and that's okay. Some relationships aren't meant to be lifetime relationships. They're just for a season, and sometimes those seasons last 10, 20, 30 years. But those relationships still conclude.
And that is painful. So what do real friends do differently? I think you've already said it,
Mhm.
but I think we move differently and we behave differently. And my mom used to say, and I've repeated this so many times, that you should be able to count your friends on one hand and still have fingers left over. Like those ride or die, those people that will take care of your children, like
Mhm.
that will take your children in, right? When there's nowhere else
Yeah.
for them to go. But what do real friends in your eyes do differently?
I think we extend grace to each other. There's just a level of understanding of who the individual is, how they operate. And so being able to extend grace and having understanding. I know one of my dearest friends were like 20 plus years deep. We went through, like, we always laugh at this, but when we first started establishing our sisterhood, she was going through a period where she was like breaking up with a boyfriend and she just isolates. Like when she's going through stuff, she just isolates. And so I would like call and she would respond and I would call. And I was calling on at the time we had landlines. None of us had cell phones. And I would call her mom and her mom would be like, hey Tosh, Tashel's like she's sleeping, or like her mom was just making all these excuses. And at one point her mom, and Tashelle will tell you the story, her mom like told Tashelle, like, get your life together. Like, this is unacceptable. This girl keeps calling to check in on you, see how you're doing, and you're just ignoring her. Like, that's not okay. And we laugh about it now, 20 plus years later. But it's consistency, right? It's
Right.
consistency. It's just knowing like the person is worth continuing to press forward and make the effort, and maintaining that connection and maintaining the relationship. Um, what else would I say?
But that
Um,
falls into the whole point of what one of the things I most admire about you is loyalty, right?
hmm,
And that's you being loyal. And that's what loyalty means to me is when I look at you, that is a word that comes to the forefront of my mind, loyalty. So I'm assuming that's what loyalty means to you, is consistency.
yes, and also loyalty is being able to, um, when we aren't together, or there's like a third party, whether it's a mutual friend or whatever the case may be, like to me, loyalty is also defending my name, like not letting anyone else talk bad about me. It's integrity, right? Being a woman of your word, being a man of your word, doing what you say you're going to do. And if you can't do it, then saying, like, hey, my heart was in the right place, but I'm just unable to execute right now. Or even being able to say, like, I love you, but I don't have the capacity to give you a listening ear right now. I've got too much that I'm navigating and dealing with, and I just don't have the capacity. But when I
Okay,
do,
but that's huge. Like you can say that. I can't do that.
but it's something that was learned, and I still struggle with it because, like, as as a person, as an individual, I just have a heart to help, and I hate to see the people that I like truly care about and love. I hate to see them suffering, and so it's something that I've had to like do better with. Like, okay, Natasha, we all have crosses to bear. We're all journeying through our own life journey with our own individual experiences. And I know you love Valerie or whoever else the person may be, but this is part of her story. This is part of her journey. And you can't take that on for her. You can't fight whatever it is that she's experiencing or dealing with for her because that's hers. But you can still be supportive. You can still, check in, be encouraging, whatever the case may be. But you can't fix it for her. But that stems to being the eldest daughter and the responsibility that's placed on us much sooner than we should be taking on these roles of just feeling like you have to support everybody and do and be all the things. In this context, you're talking about for your parents, right, and siblings, but and it translates into friendships
Everything.
friendships too. Yeah, it does.
But
Relationships.
I'm the baby. I was the baby.
But
I was the same.
yeah,
Like,
I have,
I don't
yeah,
know if
there's
it's a
definitely
female thing or,
the
you,
birth
I
order doesn't always matter. The birth
doesn't
order
always
does not always
matter.
matter.
It's just like being female, being woman, being a nurturer. We want to
Hmm.
fix everything. We want to take care of everybody. We want to make sure that everybody's doing well. And we don't always have the bandwidth. So you being able
Hmm.
to say, you know what, I can't. I'm not able to do that. I've stretched myself so thinly that I've popped, right? I can't
Yeah, and
do
I've
it.
watched you pop. Yeah.
I've popped more than one time because I want to take everybody in. I want to hold everybody. I want to hug everybody. I want to make it all better for everybody. That's one thing after all of these years that I really have a hard time doing. So I've actually isolated myself a bit because I
Hmm.
can't. And that's really, I admire that you can say that you can, and I know that you can't. I've heard words come out of your mouth that would have never come out of mine. So I know that you're much more mature when it comes to relating to people than I.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know we've had conversation. And then like I've watched like a lot of people attach themselves to you just because of like your energy and who they think you are or have access to and what they can do from you or what they think you can do for them, excuse me. And we've had conversations about like, look, everybody ain't your ministry, sis. That's not your ministry. That's an associate. And I think that's a huge thing. Like so many people are so quick to be like, that's my friend. That's my friend. No, ma'am, that's your acquaintance. That is your associate. Let's
Exactly.
be extremely clear. That is not your friend.
Exactly.
I even
That's
tell the kids
huge.
that. I
Huge.
tell the kids that that is not your friend yet.
Everybody's not your friend. And I talked
No.
about this before, but they're circles. And you
Hmm.
decide what circle people go into. And even though
Yes.
they want to be in this circle, they're not necessarily there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That
not
makes me think of Tyler Perry's analogy where he talks about you have the leaves, the branches, and then the actual like roots, right? Like you have your friends who are your roots. Like those roots go deep.
deep.
The branches may be there for a season, but at some point, Mother Nature can happen, that branch can fall, and
Yep.
those leaves, they blow with the
They blow.
seasons.
They blow. I
Yeah.
love that. I never heard that before. I love that. Okay. So finish this sentence for me. The friends who have mattered most in my life are the ones who blank.
Who ride or die, who show up, who give grace, who allow me to be my authentic self with all my uniqueness and quirkiness and specialness. And who genuinely just love me for me. I think that's important. You need to have friends that allow you to be your authentic self. That's the good sides of yourself, the bad sides of yourself, the sides of yourself that you're still working on, the evolving self, right? Because who I was a year ago, who I was 6 months ago, and who you were a year ago or 6 months ago is not who you are now, right? And we've watched each other evolve. We've watched each other evolve and grow and have been genuinely interest invested in taking the journey with each other, right? And never expecting one another to be who we are at our core.
And that spills over into a theme that we have not yet aligned to a month, which I'm starting to think it might be February for Valentine's Day. But men, partners, spouses, because to have a real relationship and I'm at the point I'm writing my memoir. What?
Ooh,
I know. It's
quiet.
going to be one of those things. I cannot run or hide anymore from the truth. But it's one of those things
But I
that
also think
even
it's going to be so freeing for you. That's going to be like
I
healing
actually
for
have
you.
been crying as I write it, like to be able to actually tell the truth and see it down on paper and face it is better than any therapist at this point. But
Hmm.
understanding that the man that's going to be in my life that God is sending to me, it really has to be my friend. And I've
Yeah.
said that so many times, but to actually not settle for anything less than a friend.
Hmm.
So what you just said is what I want in that person that God is going to send to me is
Yes,
exactly
that's
what you just
important.
said. Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, because when you talk about a partnership with anyone, whether it's a same-sex partnership or
Yeah.
heterosexual partnership, friendship has to be at the foundation, and you have to, and Pastor Darius Daniels just talked about this, and it was so like powerful, and like I was like, oh my gosh, I've never heard a preacher talk about this when it comes to marriage. um he's like, he basically was saying you have to decide that you are going to put forth the work, the energy, the time, the investment to be who that person needs you to be as you guys grow together, particularly when you don't feel like it. He was like, y'all want to split bills. Y'all want to have a nice little celebration and get dressed up. He was like, that's easy,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
really easy. But like, when all that's said and done, how do you show up for him or her and her, whatever, when you don't feel like it, when they're giving you their bum to kiss,
Yeah.
you're taking these vows.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, and again, I think that's also applicable in friendships, in our
Yeah.
relationships with friends, with siblings. Like, oh, we could do a whole nother session on
Oh, you're coming
sibling
back because we got so much
relationships.
more to
Lord
talk
knows.
about. We've gone through way too much together, and there's so many topics that I think that we've grown and that we can
Mhm.
share with other people to help them in their journey and as they grow. So I thank you for being a part of the Not Done Yet movement
Ooh,
because we're not
thank you
done.
so
And
much for
Lord
having me.
knows you're the epitome of the Not Done Yet movement
No, nope.
because
One
you're
of my good friends
never
just
done.
told
Like every 2 to 3 months, you're doing or creating, oh my gosh, Valerie, I'm over here and I'm doing this and I don't want to do this anymore and I want to do this. You are the epitome of not being fearful of taking risk. And I love that about you. And I admire
thank
you.
you.
You are a role model for me. So
Thank you.
thank
It's the Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant. I did. Someone had told me that recently, and I was just like, "What is that?" I'd never heard of it, and I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, this is me, the Mamba mentality." I'll share it with you.
please do. Thank you for being a part of this podcast, for talking to me and to our family and our community about friendship and what that means to you. And thank you for being my friend.
Of course, we're not friends. We're sisters. Sisters, we are family.
Okay, I don't know that song, but let's go with it. All right. So the plot is still unfolding.
It
Plot
is.
twist is still unfolding. That's our tagline. I think I need to know it. The plot twist is
You know it. You just forgot it for
yay.
2 seconds.
So thank you. Thank you, Natasha. I love you.
Love you. Bye.